Welcome to the Build Insight podcast. Real people, real insights. Step into the world of innovative construction, one conversation at a time. Today's episode is part 2 with Tom Lawson from Vision 2 Estimating. If you missed part 1, make sure you go back to last week's episode and catch up on those insights. Otherwise, enjoy the episode.
Yeah, I'd like to dive in a bit more, Tommy, because one thing that we've spent a lot of time in early days is like our backman builder's DNA.
Yep.
And, you know, by what we're saying there is how is backman builders building something.
Yep.
And you might work with dozens of builders and they all might do things slightly differently.
Yeah, absolutely.
So even diving into our ventilated cavity approach and how we're wrapping and all of that.
What your batten build up is and all that kind of stuff. Because there's the other thing I learned, especially from the supplier end, is just because something's nominated on a drawing somewhere, that there's two things. Either doesn't necessarily mean that's the way you guys want to deliver it on site, kind of thing. Secondly is, I heard you guys talking in the podcast before with Saxon about the note about, you know, builder to make good. Whatever kind of thing. But there's so many other generic notes like that, which, you know, it'll just say things like, you know, service cavity batten to be confirmed. Or, you know, like studs as per this kind of thing or whatever. But there's ways to build it. So, like, even something as simple as, like, do you trench your plates or not trench your plates? So, like, SA, we do single top plate. So if you use a 45mm thick top plate and you trench them, then you do truss over stud. Whereas Vic, you probably do double top plate. So, but that is going to change heaps of stuff because it's going to change material. It's going to change, which then means cost. It's going to change labour because labour to trench compared to labour to just run a ribbon plate on kind of thing as well. It's going to change the height that you need to build the walls because if you're trenching them and direct fixing, then they're going to load bearing's got to be 20mm bigger than non. Like, that's 7 things that change from one timber size in a job kind of thing, you know what I mean? And so what I like to think of your builder's DNA is not only stuff like that on materials, but it's also how your building company is set up. So things like, well, what is your process for like an ECI or a pack or something like that kind of thing? How do you bring a client through? Where do you bring clients into pricing? How is your team built up? Like, do you have a big team of chippies or do you bring subbie crews in? Because that's going to change how you should price it, how you should schedule the job. So we try and learn all that stuff because what we're trying to do is the image I like to give is kind of go, you've got all this information in plans, right? And what I'm going to try and give you is a bill of quantities that you can price from with a 3D model. But while I turn that into that, I'm going to put it through the filter of your builder's DNA because once a house gets built and it looks the same from the outside, a client is going to think it's the same house no matter who it's built by. But when you take the cladding off and it's built by you guys compared to you guys, that's where there could be some differences.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, mine's going to be heaps better.
Adelaide, you know, so
How do you go about that process though, mate? You guys have like an onboarding meeting with your builders?
So we try and do onboarding meetings. We're very big on, if it's reno and extensions, we always do like a pre-model meeting as well kind of thing because the other big thing is there's so much stuff on reno extensions that should be included in the scope that's never noted on plans as well kind of thing. So, and it's normally what we try and do is because the other thing I've found is if I said to you, all right, Luke, like here's a template and it's got 350 questions on it. You got to fill them all out before I can do any work for you. Like, you're never going to do that.
I'm not going to fill it out.
No, exactly right kind of thing. So what we do is we go, right, in our first meeting, let's tick off some big things. So let's go, what membranes do you use? If you've got a cavity build up, what batten size are you using? How are you going to do that kind of thing? And then go, stop there. Let's get a few sort of the 10 or 15 big ones out of the way. Let's produce the model. And then what we'll do is we'll review the model together because it's so much easier to answer questions when you're looking at it in the context of a project.
Yeah.
Go, okay, so this job has this type of cladding. This is what we've done. What would you do differently? Oh, actually, we would do it this way, not that way. Okay, cool. Make a change. And what we've done in our model view where we show it is you can actually drop and leave like comments on things that need to be changed.
Yeah,
and
right.
it will generate a checklist of things as well, kind of thing. So had a job today where that I sent off to a builder where they've got to support an existing subfloor. So the engineer's nominated temp props and says put 300 by 300 blocks underneath the temp props. So we've gone, well, the blocks are going to sit on the ground. So what we've allowed is 345 treated LVL cut into blocks. So I can upload the model and I've put a comment, and then when I've sent it to the builder, I said, go and have a look at the comment because it's notated what we've allowed and why. And then he can either re-comment, change this, or he can tick it off if he's happy with it, kind of thing. So, again, rather than trying to chase, this is what the plan says, I don't have it in front of me, how's that going to work? It's like, no. We've made a decision based on these reasons. Here's why. But if you want to change it, let's do it, kind of thing. Yeah. So, yeah.
And mate, we jokingly say, and it's on the record here, but you're kind of like leader of nerds.
Yeah.
But like, we sat around last night. You've got Jack on board now, who people might have seen Jack on socials. He's just done a stint with Netto Builders, gun chipping. He's outright super passionate. You got the right people that are doing this. Where your experience of reviewing. I mean, every job we've done, there's probably been things that are picked up and noticed from a model angle. And I've built that many houses, but until you actually get it into that 3D interactive model, you're not necessarily going to see certain issues.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, we look for the guys in our team are all really good and stuff, and then we've got a mixture of guys. It's a bit like, I like to think of it a bit like bringing chippies on. You've got apprentices or qualifieds kind of thing. So I look at the people that we bring on. I kind of look for two key areas. One is construction knowledge, and one is modelling skills. Because if you've got one, then we can teach the other.
Yep.
So like we've got guys who have come from site. So we've got a couple of guys who have been like project managers for steel fixers or have been carpenters on site before, things like that. And then we've got guys who are really skilled. We've got a couple of guys who have graduates in architecture or building designers. But what they don't know is how houses get built kind of thing. So we teach them, well, this is how you build an eave kind of thing. And this is why you need timber here, and you can't just have an eave lining floating out off the fascia kind of thing, stuff like that. But then from the flip side, the guys who know how to build it, what they don't know is how does a piece of paper with a drawing on it turn into material on site that then I can build from. So we teach them that process and go, okay, so this is how you read the engineering plan. And I know you understand it from how to deliver it, but this is the part that gets in between that. That's what we come in. So,
the gap.
And the guys like Jack, we've got Sean in our team as well, who's same thing. They're the guys who come in, they've got both. You know what I mean? So they've got on-site experience and they know how to draw. So now we just teach them how to do it the V2E way kind of thing. So,
Yeah, no, that's great. And I think
For over 130 years, Bowens has been the builder's choice, providing a service that provides timber, hardware and innovative building products.
And now we're helping you further with this wonderful partnership.
The family that have been here for generations, Bowens, has been powering the Australian building industry with family values, trusted service and the drive to make our industry better. They're helping us provide you the insights that matter. Build insight together with Bowens.
Real people,
Real insights.
So technology keeps advancing, and I think one thing that I know I've commented before, like you guys are probably as competent using Wonderbuild as the professionals at Wonderbuild are.
Mate, there was the first meeting I had with Tom. There was a few things he made us bring up Wonderbuild, and he's like, "Do this, do this." I'm like, "What the fuck?" I don't know how to do that.
Or
He was teaching me how to use
in
it.
the office, and he'd be like, "Oh, I'll take me a while to get on the Wonderbuild. I'll just call Tom." It's like he's ringing Wonderbuild. It's like,
Daz, yesterday at the event, he came over with Ant from Two Tone. He's like, "Hey Tom, can you show Ant like how to do this in Wonderbuild?" Because you showed me last week, and I want him to show it because he's having the exact same problem. And I was like, okay, well, let's pull up, have a look. So yeah, but the reason behind that is like the guys at Wonderbuild are great. Like shout out to Ahmed and Tim and Hashi, great team there, and it's a great software to use. Really, really big on integration. When we first set up our business, one of the big things Mike and I said was we didn't want to come into say like you guys and go, hey, look, we can do this cool 3D modeling and estimating, but like you've got to use our template, you've got to do this, like doesn't matter what software you use, you've got to do it this way. Yep. If you want us to do this, it's like we're going to charge you to put this in here and do all that kind of stuff. We wanted to come in and go, again, harping back to Builder's DNA and going, what software do you use? Where do you come in? How does that set up kind of thing? Well, let's do our best to make sure it integrates well with you guys kind of thing. So what I found is like you guys as builders, when you're running the jobs, you want to be able to access data really easily and quickly. So if you've got 10 years of calling your category for wall framing, frame materials, wall frame, so I want to know where this is, I can click on that and see it there. The last thing you want to do is go, now I've got to go and find it somewhere else and get used to it kind of thing. We go, no, well, we can put our BOQ, we'll just put it into your section of Wonderbuild. That's easy for us kind of thing, because that's how we can work together. So then you're still getting the benefit of what we're doing, but it's coming in the way you want to see it kind of thing. So, and then harping back to Wonderbuild integration, Hashi and I have spent a lot of time working with other local builders as well to go, because one thing with software companies is they're really good at building software, and the Wonderbuild guys are really good, and their like online chat system is really good for getting answers on how to do things. However, because they're not builders, they're going to give you answers of, you might say, I want to do this, and they're going to be able to tell you what buttons to click to get it to work. But what they're not necessarily going to understand is the reason why you want to do that as a builder kind of thing. So that's where we've tried to be really heavy and go, okay, I know the reason why. So the Daz's like great example was, I want to be able to send one purchase order for all my framing information. So that way, when I get one invoice back, I only have to cost track one for one. I don't have to cost track, because my purchase order's got 30 items on it. I don't want to have to cost track it like that. So it was me going, okay, well, in Wonderbuild, here's a really simple process to go, estimate like this, suck it together like this, then you can order one, cost track one. And that's just through having empathy for you guys as builders. Basically trying to understand why you're trying to achieve what you want to achieve, and then why that works, and then either give an answer or go, I see what you're trying to do. However, to get the best out of Wonderbuild or whatever software, what if you did it this way? Because then you're still achieving the same thing, but and it kind of like, opens up the mind a bit. So just collaborating with like people like that is just great as well, I think.
Yeah.
So,
I've still got a lot to learn in that space, mate. We're only really, we've only done one job, been modelled by you guys so far. Is it, so with your BOQ that you produce, we can give you access to our Wonderbuild and you upload all of that for us?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So
Jeez, I'm gonna get
Well,
on
it goes deeper than that too. So I know with us, we invested in you guys to do our price book as well. So I'll let you,
Yeah,
you
I can
explain
talk
the
about
price
that.
book
Yeah.
system.
So the idea, remember talking about the idea of going, let's do a BOQ and then let's price it, so that way we know what the price is going to be. So the idea being, and this is where I've worked really closely with Hashi to kind of set this up, is going, Wonderbuild has this master price, this price book function, where what we can do is we've built basically a pricing database with line items with a bit of special sauce with some SKU codes and stuff like that kind of thing. And the way it works is we will help you get all your pricing information. So you go to Bowen's and get your Bowen's price list. You might know your brickies rate or your tiles rate or whatever kind of thing. Plug it all in. And what happens is then when we drop our BOQ into Wonderbuild, because we will have helped you set up your price book, it's going to find the matching information kind of thing.
Yep.
So when it comes in, the idea being we want to get it to basically 60 or 70% of your project can price instantly kind of thing. So we all got a good mate of ours, Adam from VO Building, is I like to call him the OGP, the original guinea pig for us kind of thing. He's
He's a freaking wizard.
So one of the last projects that we did together was, I think it was about a $750,000 reno kind of thing. He's done 5 or 6 now. We've been working to build his price book. From when the first takeoff dropped in, something like 350 grand of the job price straight away from that one input. And the last 300 grand is like getting his subbie quotes, getting contractors, getting his last PC items, his prelims, stuff
And
like that.
that's stuff that you should be still, any builder should still be sending out a request for a quote.
Yeah, because it makes up, you got to deliver the project kind of thing. And what it harks back to is, again, is every job's different. Like, where you guys are custom builders, so you're never going to build the same job twice kind of thing. But however, inside of that job, there are repeatable data. Every job's going to have timber, plaster, conch, Rio, earthworks. So you can actually build that. And the reality is, you guys builders have got so much data, just no one's ever really showed you how you could use that to your advantage kind of thing. So we've come in and gone, well, hey, you know how you're saying you're finding it hard to find pricing? You've actually got lots of information. We're just going to give you the vessel to, number one, help you set it up. And then number two, make it so when our stuff comes in, it's just streamlined. So,
Just to touch on that, Tom, like too, for anyone listening, BOQ's bill of quantities.
Just to break
it down. You got a nerd talk, keep going.
Yeah,
but
sorry, mate.
No, but that's, I mean, you know, and we're seeing the benefits, the fruits of the labour there with the information, data. I mean, everyone's time poor, and I find, like, if something's not easy, I'm not going to do it. Like, I want something to be efficient. I don't necessarily need to know how it's all going together.
Yep.
We just want to make sure it's working, it's efficient. And, you know, I mean, we've worked closely with some things there. Like first job through, we were probably like, made an assumption we had enough, like battens, for example, got through and we're like, well, actually, we didn't put an allowance on here because whatever happened. But either way,
our
we've
wastage
got that
factor might be
information.
different to what you guys need,
Yeah.
and now we can build onto it.
But the good thing was, like, we'd pick up the phone like anytime and we're like, hey mate, what was going on here, or how does this integrate, or whatever. And it's kind of, you know, you're collaborating through that process. And I joked at the start, like, there is estimators out there, not naming names, but that think that the industry is built on the people that estimate, and the builders are just, you know, can come in and lick the cream. But you know, I think that's the vital part, was where straight away I'm like, I really dig this, because we knew, like, you're diving in, we can see it, we can break it apart, break it down.
I mean, like, for us, we are big on, like, we want feedback, because, like, we're going to get, the only way we're going to get better is by getting feedback or keep improving. So, like, carpentry labour is a big one. So, you know, Kyle Zeno talks really heavily. Anyone who's in Future Builder knows how powerful his labour spreadsheet and stuff like that is. So we do a version, and I've worked closely with Kyle on this, because what we want to do is go, you guys are going to think about it from your team, you know, who's going to do it, who's going to do this, what apprentices have I got, all that kind of stuff. What we want to do is go, well, carpentry labour based on what's in the job. So I'm really big on telling you up front, my carpentry labour is not going to be exactly right for your company.
Yeah.
Because I don't know your apprentice setup, and I don't know how fast or slow your team work. However, based on our equation of X amount of hours per X amount of coverage of cladding, this is what, in this job, we think it should be around the mark. High or low, doesn't matter. But all of a sudden now you guys have got a measuring stick. So what I mean by a measuring stick is, one thing you guys as builders have got really, really good is you guys have got a good gut, right? So you can look at something and know whether it's bullshit or not pretty easily, kind of thing. So pricing, timesheets, was he really there, or was he smoking, you know, all that kind of stuff,
How many
whatever.
coffees did they go down to get
exactly.
today?
Did he really need that 5th trip to Bunnings or not, you know, things like that.
Bowens.
Bowens, sorry. Bowens, sorry, Damo. But what's really hard is to go, I know this is bullshit, but I don't know why I know it's bullshit yet, kind of thing. So subbie quotes is a great example. You know roughly when the concreter's quote comes in and you're like, this isn't right, but I can't explain why. So we look at it and go, well, imagine if you could have a rate set up, or a pricing, or a check inside one build. So you go, as a BOQ comes in, I know the concreter's quote should be around 12 grand. So when his quote comes in and it's 13.5, and you go, okay, cool, I'm around the mark, it's good. But when it comes in and it's 18 grand, and you go, hang on a second, that's not right. Now, instead of going, it's not right, I don't really know why though, we can go, actually, well, based on this information, this rate which we've talked about, and this model and this details, I think it should be more around this price. What do you think? And I quite often find subbie's answers are, I didn't actually really look at the job, I just threw a number at it.
It was pretty late last night. You wanted it back early.
Yeah. So, or the flip side to go, actually, the reason it's this rate is because I've allowed for this, I've got travel file, all that kind of stuff. And again, it's good info, because you can actually go, well, now I see what I can do is adjust my measuring stick. And it's the same with carpentry labour. You kind of go, I think this is what my team's going to be. And then you look at it based on some data measurements and go, okay, well, it's higher than that, which is good, because my team might take longer. I want to allow more. It's not crazy amounts, but it's also not under. Sweet. Tick, move on. You kind of give yourself that measuring stick to check against.
So, Tom, when for people who aren't using you, wondering what it looks like, when's the ideal time for you to come in, and what's the process look like?
Yeah, it's a great question. So,
And what do you need, I suppose, as well?
Yeah, that is a great question. So where we come in at the moment is we're working on some stuff, but our current product service at the moment kind of thing is we come in at like final contract BOQ stage. So the more information you've got, the better. So engineering plans, all that kind of stuff. And I'm really open about, you know, when your pricing process doing, like we don't do at the moment QBEs or, you know, quick price and stuff like that, because we put a lot of work into the modelling that we do. So it's not cost effective or time effective for you guys that have got to bring people through to quickly price. So I'm really open about saying, like, we're not going to do that for you kind of thing, because what we want to do is put all our effort into going, right, I've got all this final information. What I need now is a really detailed, broken down bill of quantities and the model, so I can check final structural checks. Is the buildability going to work, and price it? And then the benefit of being, when we sign it, now I can start ordering materials because all the hard work's already done for me. So how our kind of process normally works is we'll do if you're a new client, we'll do a bit of a demo meeting, show you how it all works kind of thing. What I really recommend is going like, let's do a project together and let's really get in touch with it, really get your builder's DNA sorted, go through the process. Because what we can do is, if you then want to take the dive on, getting our Wonderbuild integration set up and stuff like that, then we've already got a project done that we can use the data through kind of thing. Yeah, that's right. And we've already gone through the teething problems and all that kind of stuff. And we're really heavy on our process of like meetings and reviews and all that kind of stuff. So like I said, if it's a reno extension, we always do a pre-job meeting. Even if it's the 10th reno extension, we'll always do a pre-job meeting to know. Because it's things like, is the whole existing being repainted? Yes or no? You need to know that, and it's probably not going to be written on the plans anywhere kind of thing. So we do that.
Or the old make good.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. Hey, this says make good. What do you reckon that means, Dino? That's right.
If I see that note again, I'll tell you.
And then we'll produce the first round. Then we want to have a review meeting, go through, this is what we've done, here's the comments that we left, give you, a week or whatever to go through and assess. And then we go, are there any changes that we need to make? Yes or no? Sweet, let's get the changes made, update through. And then we want to follow through to construction. So, hey, we started on site. Like I said, we want to order some timber. Right, well, we can give you a cut list so you can ready to order from. We can produce the framing layouts for guys so they can build from, stuff like that. But we've tried to structure what we do so that if it doesn't get to that point, then you don't need that information either, kind of thing. So, yeah, that's a bit of an idea about it, kind of thing, I think.
Circus Studio is Australia's leading interior design centre. If you're an architect, building designer, interior designer, builder, or just looking to build your dream home, you need to make a time and come in and check out the space here in Port Melbourne.
With everything from wall and ceiling linings, doors, architectural hardware, cladding and flooring.
This space holds every element that you'll possibly need to design your dream home.
What's, just probably before we hit rapid fire questions here, Tom, what's next with V2A? Like, we've got technology and AI flying along.
Yep.
What's you've just brought out new version of the model.
Yep.
Late last year.
No. Well, you had the early release. So it's available. From about a month ago. So we're pretty excited about that. So what's next for us is AI is a big topic. We are investing heavily in AI in our business. So to basically see, one of the things that we say we've got is lots of information, a bit like what I said, you guys as builders have got lots of data that's sitting there. So we're trying to see how we can get AI to help speed up our process kind of thing as well. Also, we just started using AI lots for like comparison checks, like, hey, this job, like this is what the result is. Give me a comparison check on how this job went versus this job and stuff like that. So we're investing heavily in AI for our own business, but also then for you guys as builders. Like, one of our ideas that we're about to start building is inside our model viewer is putting like an AI chatbot. So you can basically talk to an AI and ask it questions about the model and it will be able to give you the answer. So things like, structural steel there's an Australian standard for how many kilos per metre each steel beam weighs. We've drawn in all the steel and we know how many metres of steel there are. So you could be able to ask the AI, well, how does that convert to tonnage, or how many PFCs or whatever, and it will be able to give you the answer, stuff like that. Right. So that's probably for us. The other thing that we're working heavily on is just more and more collaboration stuff. So we're working closely with the Wonderbuild guys. We're working closely with some other consultants, more Builders Future Builder, Build Insight. Just how much can we be helping the industry? Like I said, at the end of the day, we want to be problem solvers. So if there's another problem and it's in our wheelhouse to help solve it, then we want to know about it. I think.
Awesome, mate.
Did I have I told you the story about when Michael first reached out to me? Did I tell you about that? Do you know about this, Tom?
Yeah, I know the story because he's told it.
I was way back before then. I used to try and sketch my own scale drawings for detailing as best as I could. And I remember doing this truss an elevated heel height for a truss so that I could get an insulation bat in there, and showing how the ventilator cavity was going to go up, where it was going to come out the eave and things like that. And I did a video. I don't know whether I shared it on Build Insight or whether it was in the early days of mine.
Yeah.
I videoed my computer screen and shared it, showing this is what we do. And I reckon it was Michael's son saw it on Instagram. He's like, Dad, have a look at this. And Mike was like, my fucking software can do that. I'm going to reach out to this bloke. He rings me, he goes, good video, but do you know what V2E is? And then he came out and I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
What have I wasted my time with that for?
No. You know the knowledge, mate. So,
mate, we're going to throw some rapid fire questions at you, Tom, before we wrap up, mate. So we'll try and keep them short answers.
Okay.
So number one, most overhyped construction tech right now.
Overhyped construction tech. AI for producing pricing without any vetting, I think.
Yep. What about the most underhyped piece of tech everyday builders should be using right now?
Oh, 3D modelling. Easy one.
Biggest estimating mistake you still see builders make every week?
Not using V2E.
Biggest mistake I see is is just too many square metre rates hanging around still, kind of thing. I think, and not understanding what's gone into the square metre rate. Yeah.
Finish this sentence for me, Tom. A builder who doesn't estimate properly in 2026 is
Going under.
That was a quick one. Wow.
Is that too harsh?
Just broken the record for fastest rapid fire ever on building.
Is that too harsh?
No, not at all.
Oh, that's a reality.
Pretty
It's like
important.
get into it, invest a bit more, and I think you'll find with whatever we do on Building Site, we have the real conversations with real people that we're using in our own businesses, and we're backing it. So it's fantastic, mate. I love the people that are involved. You step in and you help. Companies like ours, and it's awesome, mate. So. Appreciate the beers last night, mate. Appreciate you making the effort to come over.
No, it's good to be here. Just
before we go, where can people find a bit more about V2E, Vision to Estimating?
Yeah, so socials, Instagram. I said this the other day, is Facebook still a thing? Not really sure, but we do have a Facebook page, I think. Instagram, website, v2e.com.au. Just go in there, you can send us a contact form, you can upload some plans, we can have a look at it for you. Myself or Emma, or we'll give you a buzz kind of thing to book something in, and we'll go from there. Yeah.
The letter V, the number 2, and the letter E.
Yeah,
V2E.
That's right.
Yeah, watch your space, guys. Check out our stuff as well, because there's some content on there, and we'll be doing a lot more with you guys. So,
cool.
Awesome, mate. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, back to Adelaide, and we'll see you soon.
See you back there soon.
Yeah, that's right. See you in Riverton, mate.
Legend.
Awesome.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you want to find out more about Build Insight, head over to the website buildinsite.com.au. Over on the website, you'll find links to previous podcast episodes, as well as our YouTube channel, Instagram and Facebook. Hope you've enjoyed the episode. Catch you on the next one.
Well, that's a wrap for another week's episode of the Build Insight podcast. Before we leave, just want to give a huge shout out to all of our sponsors for their ongoing support. Without their help, Build Insight wouldn't be what it is today.
Let's cue the disclaimer. I need to let you know that myself and the Build Insight team are in no way, shape or form qualified to give you personal or specific business advice. We strongly encourage you seek out the use of professionals for products or when you are making personal or business decisions. Everything discussed during the Build Insight podcast is our own and the guest opinion and personal experience, and is of a general nature only. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Catch you on the next one.